Hello again and welcome to episode number 4. Dr. V here again. Hey, the purpose of this episode is to provide you with 3 things. 1, keys to financial freedom, which I think you'll enjoy. Number 2, the stock pick of the week. And number 3, the main topic of this episode, how to go about buying a car. Let's jump right into this and let's get started. The 10 keys to financial freedom. Number 1, forget about keeping up with the Joneses. Live beneath your means. If you make $6,000 a month, you got to spend only $5,000. Forget about that cup of coffee at Starbucks every single day. Forget about buying luxury items. Live beneath your means so you could save money, put it away for the future. Number 2, invest 10% of your net income into stock portfolios, 401k, mutual funds, whatever it is that floats your boat. Then, most importantly, every year, January of every year, I want you to increase the investment that you make by twice the rate of inflation. So right now, inflation's running on the order of 3%. So in January, I will take all of my investments, whatever they are per month, and I will increase them by 6% in January. So you do that each and every year so you stay ahead of the inflation curve. Okay, next. Have an emergency fund worth 6 months of your salary. I know that's very, very difficult. You want to take that money and put it in a high yield savings account like I talked about in episode 2. I happen to use Citizens Bank, CIT.com. I get about 5% interest on the money and I keep it in there for a rainy day. Very important so that if you have an engine blow up in a car, a problem with a hot water heater in your house, whatever may be the case, you have money. You don't have to take it out of your weekly cash flow. So that's an important thing. Number 4, keep your credit score above 700. Again, I know it's easier said than done, but good credit gets lower rates. If you're paying 24 or 30% money on a credit card, just imagine you are doubling what you're paying the credit card company in 3 to 4 years, which is totally ridiculous. Same thing with a car loan. If you go get a car loan with a credit score of 600 compared to 700, the difference will be a full interest rate percentage point. So it's important to do that. Number 5, throw away all your high interest credit cards. Any of these cards that are 24%, 30%, get rid of them. Use a debit card. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Okay? Very, very important. If you must, go to a company like National Debt Relief and have them negotiate 50 cents on a dollar for all your credit card debt. That's not debt consolidation. They will just help you reduce what you owe to the credit card companies. Next, opt for non-branded and non-luxury goods when you shop for clothing and accessories. There's no need for that $400 pair of jeans. I buy my jeans, I pay $60, $70 for my jeans and about $40, $50 for a shirt. Could I afford a lot more? Absolutely I could. But I don't, because I'd rather have that money to use and invest it and make a higher rate of return. Next, focus your attention on developing multiple streams of passive income, whether it's dividend stocks, rental income, selling ebooks, or having a side hustle. There's nothing better than making money while you sleep. I have 5 streams of income, which I mentioned earlier, and each of those, every morning when I wake up, cha-ching, I made some money in selling some books. I made some money on rental income, yada, yada, yada. So very, very important. Next, develop an expense budget and stick to it. You'd be surprised how many younger people have no idea where their money's going. At the end of the month, they know they're short, but they can't figure out where. Having a budget and sticking to it and understanding that you're paying too much to go out to eat, you're paying too much for gas, you're paying too much for groceries. All those things will pop off the page once you have a budget. Next, read, and read some more. Make sure you understand what's happening to the financial news globally. I am a fanatic about this. I am always reading 1 or 2 books simultaneously. I still read 3 or 4 magazines every time I fly on a plane. And I'm always looking at Google News and the Wall Street Journal online and Bloomberg in order to understand what's going on in the worldwide stock market. Read. And finally, keep your overall debt to a minimum. Forget credit cards, forget bank loans, forget lines of credit. Use your debit card for all your purchases. You got to get out of debt. No debt and investing 10% is going to make you successful and put you in a position by the time you're 50 to have $1 million. All right, let's talk about the stock pick of the week. The stock pick of the week is Kinder Morgan, trades under the symbol KMI. The stock is trading currently at about $17 a share. It's up from about $11 from 2020. Yes, the company did take a hit during COVID, for sure, but bounced back pretty aggressively the last couple of years. It's a $20 billion company with a market cap of twice that much, of $40 billion. It made $2 billion in net income last year, has a 5-year earnings per share growth rate of 7%, return on equity of 8% consistently, pays a dividend of 6%. Remember, always get advice from a professional before trading any of the stock recommendations I make within this podcast. But Kinder Morgan, good stock, can't go wrong. All right, now let's get into the main topic of this podcast, which is really how to buy a car. All right, before you even think about buying a car, you need to understand the automotive economics. The single most important aspect of considering a car purchase is not what you think. It's actually resale value because it provides you with the best cash. If I pay $30,000 for a car and 3 years later the car is still worth $20,000, then I've only had a loss of value of $10,000. So resale plays a magical role in the buying of cars. So make sure you buy a car that has very, very high resale value. In the secret episode, I outline the cars that currently have the highest resale value, the lowest 5-year overall maintenance costs, so that might provide you with additional information. Okay, keep in mind, when you buy a car, you've heard this before, when you drive it off the lot, it's worth 25% less. This is why resale plays such an important role. All right, now, when you go to buy a car, let's say you've made that decision, there are a number of steps you have to take. The first step is to get a pre-approval for a car loan. In the secret episode, I give you the 3 companies I would run to compare the rates and compare the overall car loan. It is usually better to go to a bank or another lender rather than the dealer for the loan. The dealer is going to try to hook you on that, but there could be a lot of hidden costs, so I would stay away from dealer-provided financing. 2, most important, do your research. Choose 3 to 4 cars that you like and do the research on their reliability, their quality, their resale value, and their 5-year maintenance costs. That's an important part of it. Compare price points, compare resale, compare miles per gallon, insurance costs, and maintenance costs before you choose a car. Again, in the secret episode, I give you the top 5 or 6 cars that are the best buy from a resale, cash flow, and overall cost perspective. Next, after you do the research, test drive at least 3 cars. Check out the different amenities in the car. How user-friendly is the console and the dashboard? Does it have any sort of amenities like mirrors and lights on the visors? Does it have cup holders? Anything like that you might need. Maybe a lighted mirror for the lady in your life or partner in your life. So that's another thing to think about. Next, secure multiple quotes from at least 3 dealers and maybe even a company like Carvana or TrueCar and compare these cars, as I said, across the board. Take out a spreadsheet, put purchase price, resale value in 3 years, resale value in 5 years, miles per gallon for this car versus that car, insurance costs, you go out and check that, and then maintenance costs, and then make the intelligent decision. Remember, when you're negotiating for a car, the MSRP is only a suggested price. There is typically about 15% in that MSRP for the dealer markup. So negotiate very aggressively. Look for those family and friend deals, those first-time buyer deals, and other things that you may see advertised, whether it's on TV or in the news about deals on a particular make and model. Make sure you get the longest warranty on the car you possibly can, and make sure it's not just a limited warranty. You want at least a 5-year powertrain warranty for the engine and the transmission. If you're buying a used car with between 80 and 110,000 miles, you may want to get an extended warranty. And I explain all of this in the secret episode where I tell you which extended warranty company to go with and the specifications or particulars of that extended warranty that gets you the best overall deal. Okay, make sure you watch out for high-priced options when you go to buy a new car. 80% of the time when you pick an option that's over and above the standard, it doesn't pay out. So choose them wisely and only choose them if they're must-haves. Next, never buy a car the first time you see it. Never. It's too emotional. You want to buy with your head, not with your heart. So you want to go into the dealer, the 2 or 3 dealers, choose a couple of cars, take some photos, walk away, ponder it, think, do the comparison, and then go back and buy it. Number 10, always have a mechanic inspect a used car before you buy it. There are a ton of them online where you could have somebody come out and take a look. Make sure you pull a Carfax. Make sure you pull a KPB resale value estimate before you buy anything used. The other question that always comes up with this topic about a car is, should I lease? Should I finance? Should I buy the car outright? I'm not a big believer in spending $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 of my cash on buying a car because I consider them like boat anchors. You buy it, you lose 25% when you drive it off the lot. So I don't really like to do that unless it's a 3-year-old car, still under warranty. I'm only going to spend around $20,000 or $30,000. That's different. That I will do. On a new car, I don't do that. I either finance it with good credit and get low interest rates, because then I could take other disposable income and put it into my investment portfolio, or I will lease if I'm leasing it under a business. If I have an entity, I will put it under a business and I will lease it through the company. Yes, leasing has a lower payment, but it only makes sense if you're going to do maybe 10,000 miles a year and you are meticulous with taking care of the car, because at the end of the lease, you may have to pay excess mileage charges, some sort of a transaction fee to get out of the lease at the end, and you may have to also pay for minor wear and tear on the vehicle, including scratches and stuff like that. So, again, only lease if you're doing it through a business and you are meticulous about taking care of the car inside and out. All right. In secret episode number 3, I tell you exactly where to get the best car loan. I also talk about the extended warranties. I talk about the best vehicle history report to get. I talk about where to get the best resale value and all those other things that you need in order to secure a car. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Till next time, this is Dr. V signing off. Have a wonderful week, and we shall talk soon, my friend.